Okay, here's what I know. The Chinese real estate market is in jeopardy. It's twice the size of the American market. We know what happened when the American subprime crisis happened in 2007, 2008. Is that going to happen in China? And if it does, is it a ripple effect? If their banks get run on, will we have another Lehman Brothers moment? And will that ripple across the Pacific Ocean and bring down our stock market? That's what we've got to figure out. So with that in mind, I wanted to get some more basis on our situation in '07. So last night I watched The Big Short. I suggest you watch it. And we put our heads together and answer the question, are we looking at another real estate financial crisis that is going to affect the world much as the U.S. financial crisis did in 2007? That's what we've got to figure out together.
Best of Us Investors presents Carrie Griegmeyer.
Okay, here's where we start with what we know. Over the last 40 years, the Chinese economy has grown as they became the manufacturer of all the stuff that all the world wants. And in order to do that, they had to move people in out of the hinterland, to convert farmers to manufacturing workers. In order to do that, they had to build the plants to build all the stuff that we wanted. And then they needed to house these people. So their construction industry exploded, and they started building these 35, 40-story buildings that had apartments in them for the people coming in from the farms to live in while they worked. Around that, then they had to build movie theaters, shopping centers, restaurants. So their industry, their real estate industry exploded. It has now become 25% of their total industry. That is, not only their manufacturing and their shipping and everything, 25% of their industry is real estate. So we know it's huge. In fact, it is, I believe it's $200 trillion, which is twice the size of the U.S. industry. It wraps up 250 million jobs over there. And now, as we're coming into deglobalization, it's crashing. They overbuilt. We aren't buying as much stuff from them. We just were reported that their economy has slowed down and it is not growing. So now we have all of these homes. We all know about Evergrande. They just defaulted on their $300 billion bond obligation, and it's starting to collapse. So I then look at that and say, oh, my God, is this the U.S. financial crisis, the subprime crisis of 2006, 7, and 8? Is this, again, a repeat of The Big Short, the Michael Burry notification that this whole thing is going to collapse? Is this happening again? So as I said, I went and I watched The Big Short. I want you to watch it. But I want to help you understand what is happening and then get some reference points. So take a look at this that I've pirated from The Big Short.
CDO B has parts of CDO A, but then they both get put inside CDO C.
Yeah, that one's called CDO squared. CDO of a CDO. Right? And then there's CDOs made up of the opposite side of the bed you make with swaps. We call them synthetic CDOs.
What is synthetic CDOs?
Synthetic CDOs.
That is fucking crazy.
It's not. It's awesome.
All right, let's say you have a pool of $50 million in subprime loans. How much money could be out there betting on it in your synthetic CDOs and swaps right now, tonight?
So $50 billion.
What?
If the mortgage bonds that Michael Burry discovered were the match.
How much bigger is the market for insuring mortgage bonds than actual mortgages?
About 20 times.
If the mortgage bonds were the match. And the CDOs were the kerosene-soaked rags. Then the synthetic CDO was the atomic bomb with the drunk president holding his finger over the button. It was at that moment, in that dumb restaurant with that stupid look on his face, that Mark Bond realized the whole world economy might collapse.
They were talking about synthetic credit obligation trades. That's not what's happening in China. But understand that for every contractor who got a loan to build a business, he made money. What did he do with that money? Well, first of all, he insured his buildings, so money was spent there. Then what did he do? He bought a big home himself. He took out debt to do that. Then he bought a yacht, okay? Then he bought an airplane. So do you understand? Yeah, it's a huge real estate industry, but it propelled everything else and created the debt that the banks are now dealing with, and the banks are now being run on. So let's dig in and let's get some high-class people to explain to us just what the effect of this borrow money for buildings, borrow money for houses, borrow money for airplanes, yachts, wild vacations. What is the end effect of this, and what happens when the first domino falls? Watch this.
What the fuck is a synthetic CDO? Well, here's Dr. Richard Thaler, father of behavioral economics, and Selena Gomez to explain.
Okay, so here's how a synthetic CDO works. Let's say I bet 10 million on a blackjack hand.
10 million because this hand is meant to represent a single mortgage bond. Okay, Selena has a pretty good hand here, showing 18, dealer showing 7. That's a really good hand for Selena. Good odds. In fact, her chances of winning this hand are 87%.
So, my odds are good. I'm on a winning streak. Everybody in this place wants to get in on the action. How could I lose, right?
Now, this is a classic error. In basketball, it's called the hot hand fallacy. A player makes a bunch of shots in a row. People are sure they're going to make the next one. People think whatever's happening now is going to continue to happen into the future. During the real estate boom, markets were going up and up, and people thought they would never go down.
So people who are watching and think that I won't lose will make a side bet. Now this is the first synthetic CDO.
I love Selena Gomez. I bet you 50 million she wins. And I'll give you 3-to-1 odds.
3-to-1 odds? Okay, I'll take that bet. Now, somebody else is going to want to make a bet on the outcome of their
I bet you
bet.
50 million she wins.
That will lead to synthetic CDO number 2.
Hey, I bet you 200 million that lady in the glasses wins that bet.
She probably will win. So I want a great payoff.
How about 21?
Deal.
And this will go on and on with more and more synthetic CDOs.
And we can transform an original $10 million investment into billions of dollars.
You okay?
No. I actually feel pretty sick. So I'm going to leave.
You think I'm a parasite, don't you, Mr. Ball? But apparently society values me very much. In fact, let's do this. I'll tell you how much I'm worth. You tell me how much you're worth.
You are an incredibly big piece of shit.
Okay, that was my takeaway from the Big Short. And I hope you will go. It cost me $3.99 to get it from Amazon Prime. Watch it. Then watch it again and understand it. And then you interpret it relative to what you know is going on in China. What I want to add to that is what Peter Zion taught me. That is that the other issue that China has that will multiply this is their demographics. They started the one-child policy back in 1975. So in China, the average woman has 1.1 babies. That's not duplicating the 2 people that it took to make that baby. So with that, their population isn't growing. But you might say, yes, but in the United States, we are only reproducing at the rate of 1.6. But the difference is we have open borders. Relatively open. We have immigration. We have a lot of people coming to the United States who are increasing our population. So that puts us in a position that we still have taxpayers. We still have purchasers. So our economy will grow. China doesn't have that. The other thing you need to realize in China is they don't have the natural resources that we do. Although they're huge, they have no oil. They have no gas. They don't raise enough food to feed their population. So if their economy implodes, which I believe it will as a result of the real estate crisis, then they will die from starvation because they can't get the food and the oil that they need to stay alive. That's what's going to happen in China. The question I'm here to help you answer is, how does that affect my stock portfolio? How does that affect your stock portfolio? Well, we know what a crisis of half the magnitude did in 07, in 08 in the United States. It basically crashed the stock market, took it down about 57%. If that happens to the second largest economy in the world and even has greater repercussions, what is it going to do to the U.S. stock market? And how much time do we have if it is going to happen when it happens? My belief is, just like what happened in 07, the talking heads, the Wall Street, are ignoring this. They didn't watch the movie. They aren't old enough to understand what happened in 07 and 08. So I think we've got about 6 months to make a decision. So what I don't want to do is make a mistake. I don't want to jump in and say, I'm going to cash and I'm going to sit and wait till this bubble bursts and the market crashes. I'm going to buy in the bottom and ride this thing up because I know the world is going to be a better place in 5 years. I just don't know what's going to happen in the next 24 months. So I'm asking you for your help. That is to say, I want you to come join my tribe. I want you to come be a part, and if you have insights into this, to share it with us. We are a tribe of people who want to get rich and want to make money in the stock market. And if you will watch the Big Short, if you will read the book, you will know you don't stand a chance against Wall Street, because they don't know what the hell they're doing, as witnessed from the dot-com bubble, from the subprime crisis, from the coronavirus. They don't know what they're doing. So we have to not rely upon them, but rely upon ourselves. And that's what I'm asking of you. Join our tribe. We don't have to make this decision today, but we have to keep our ear to the ground and know when it's time to get out. Because I just do not see how the second largest economy in the world, striving to become the largest economy, can go through this, can go through a 200 trillion or a 20 trillion, I don't know what the amount of it is, real estate crisis that then multiplies upon itself as it affects the whole economy. We know from that the Chinese are looking for ways out. The Toronto housing market is exploding as the Chinese are trying to get out. They know what's going on. We need to work together so that we know what's going on. Go to the end of the description, find the link to the Discord, and come join us. Come join this movement to take advantage of group knowledge. All right. I'm excited about this. Watch that movie. It's called The Big Short. I think it was done in 2015. It's very entertaining. It's the best $3.99 you're going to spend this weekend. Talk to you again tomorrow.